We have Kody, Kinsey, and Wolfgang Beck from Script Kitty. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
hardwear.io. And we stole a whole bunch of stuff from your table that you're going to walk through.
Yes.
What do you do?
So we teach beginners how to get started with ethical hacking. We teach about getting started with electronics, and that's kind of where we converge. We have gone to tons of conferences, including DEF CON, Chaos Communication Congress, Hackers of Planet Earth, and we like to get people excited about things that they're trying for the first time. So we also started doing a series of kids camps in Montana where we kind of honed all this stuff and got all of our ideas off the ground. So we started out with this guy. Oh, sorry, you're the operator.
Vanna White over here.
Yes. So this is the Meow Mixer, and you can adjust the little dials to change the colors on the cat's eyes. And this was designed to be really, really difficult to mess up and super encouraging for people who want to make their own little badge to wear for the rest of the camp. But it turns out adults really like this too, because it's a fun little badge you can do to learn about circuits and soldering.
At least one of those is going to walk away today.
Oh, definitely. We've actually sold more than we did at our kids' events. So, yeah, very popular.
Yes.
And it's kind of cool because in one little badge, you can say that you have done through hole soldering and surface mount soldering. So, if you want to brag to your friends, then yes,
Very
something you can do
nice.
very quickly. Yeah. So, we also have our USB nugget. So, this little guy has a LoRa backpack as well. So, I've turned it into a Meshtastic node, which is really neat. That's a lot of what we teach about is how to get connected to off-grid community mesh nets. But this little guy also is a scripting tool. So we started teaching kids how to use this by they just plug it in. It shows up as a kind of like a USB drive, and there's examples in there, and they open like a Rickroll or whatever. And we taught them about how this pretends to be a keyboard, and can do a lot of things very, very quickly that you could do behind a keyboard. So they started thinking, and they went home and they came up with the nastiest, most obnoxious scripts. And none of these kids had ever programmed before. So it was cool to see them think about like, okay, I want to do this to a computer. I want it to react in this way. And this is what I would do step by step by step. So they would come back, they'd present it to the class. And I got to see like the computer cooler 10,000, which just shut down the computer as quickly as possible, or the computer heater 1 million, which opened infinite Chrome tabs, all playing like Skibbity Toilet.
That is horrible.
Yeah, the kids really got into it. So that actually transitioned really well to teaching pen testers and people who are doing all sorts of shell scripts and whatever to use this little tool to do red teaming. So while it started out as something to teach kids scripting and programming, it actually transitioned to something where people who maybe have used like a USB rubber ducky want to have like a screen so they can see what's going on and select a payload and a web interface. So you can connect to it from your phone from like across the room and like remotely control someone's computer, which is very fun.
I will be removing my computer from the room shortly.
Yes.
As soon as possible.
So we also have this little guy, which I'm very, very proud of. This is the Nibble, and I've got a nude one here. And we actually got
Naked nibble.
a naked Nibble, if you will. And this Nibble Zero, for one, was designed to be plugged into a flipper. So if you have a flipper lying around, this will give it the ability to do Wi-Fi and also a bunch of cool Meshtastic, Mesh Core, other mesh networking things. But really, what makes it interesting is that it supports all the popular mesh networking protocols, Meshtastic, Meshcore, and Reticulum. So if you are a nerd that's been wanting to get into this new standard, it's not Wi-Fi, it's not Bluetooth, it's not cellular, it's something different and exciting, then now's the time that hundreds of these are running in cities all over the world. In Los Angeles, we have a mesh net that goes all the way from LA to like Tijuana. So that's like hundreds of miles. And you can message people off grid and chat back and forth with these little guys. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun designing them. We got the entire hackerspace at Null Space Labs together to solder 200 of these for Chaos Communication Congress in Germany, and we learned a lot and have been really happy with how these went. So we've been teaching classes all over the world actually on how to get connected to these mesh networks using these as our kind of flagship node, but we also have some open source ones that we made in case people want to make like a whole bunch of them for teaching a class, or just making them for, I don't know, activists, hunters who are going out in the woods, or people who are going to like a really crazy raid where there's no cell reception.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about this beautiful kitty?
This glowing orb of a cat. Yeah, so we call this our Persheen, legally distinct from Cusheen for many reasons. However, a little orby cat, where you might have seen these before, they start out as actually a baby toy where you bop it and it changes colors, but we turned it into a smart IoT device. What's kind of cool about it is not only are we installing WLED on this, it starts out as a soldering class, right? Where on the inside of this is a custom circuit board and a 3D printed case. So I can tap this, hits her, it should turn off the light, hopefully. Well, okay, dumbbells. But
Wolfgang hacked it during
yeah,
the breaks.
Wolfgang hacked it. But
Perhaps.
this now is a smart light that has Wi-Fi built in. It can connect to your network. You can control it remotely, and it can do some cool Wi-Fi hacking stuff. So I teach my whole Wi-Fi hacking segment with this as our villain, like doing like Wi-Fi hacking stuff. So it starts out as a circuit board that you can solder. It's one of our like beginner soldering kits for just, soldering for your first time. And you go home with a smart light that can also turn evil if you're interested in Wi-Fi security too.
Right, very good. So it looks innocent, but it is certainly not.
Just like him.
Well, of
Perfect.
course. Yes.
Thank you. Wolfgang and Kody from Script Kitty.
You
I
like?
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.